Hello again. I'm back to talk about episode 4 of the Percy Jackson TV show, appropriately titled I Plunged to My Death, which is still the greatest title in the history of titles. Last we left off, Percy and Annabeth had mailed Medusa's head to Olympus. And I want you to keep that in mind because that is weirdly important for this episode. The episode actually starts off in a flashback. We get to see a young, maybe 5-year-old Percy, his mom's teaching him to swim. So we're gonna see more of Sally, which is always nice. And he's just holding on to the pool wall, and he's like, I don't want to do that. I don't remember being that kind of kid. I always really liked swimming. Of course, I haven't done it in years because the world outside is terrible. But yeah, then it changes and Percy's mom is saying, this is something you're probably gonna need to learn for something. What if something really bad happens and I'm not here for it? Which is, helpful advice because, yeah, learning to swim is important. What if you're on a boat and the boat gets tipped over and you're in the water? You'll drown. Then it cuts to, the same sandy beach as in, some of Percy's other dreams. And, we get to hear the mysterious voice. I'm still not gonna say who it is because that's a spoiler. But everyone who read the book knows exactly who it is. And yeah, this stuff isn't. This scene actually isn't in the book. Out of all the episodes so far, this has easily the most deviations from the book. So the poodle is not here. I'm sorry. No, Grover does not talk to a poodle because that was what we all wanted to see, right? But yeah, Percy wakes up, they're on a train. Percy and Annabeth have a small, conversation where, they're starting to, come out of their shells. Annabeth talks about Talia for a bit. Apparently we found out that Grover's really cranky when he hasn't gotten something to eat. I didn't know that. But yeah, I mentioned last time that, Grover didn't bring up the search for Pan. Well, he does now. We see he's talking about oh yeah, every satyr wants to be a searcher, and Grover's uncle Ferdinand, the statue we saw in the last episode, he was a searcher, and Grover wants to be one too. So anyway, they're sleeping on a train, which we don't see how they get there, and so they go up to look out the window. And they see a herd of, I forgot what they were, but it's probably a Greek monster. Might have been some buffalo though. They're in St. Louis, so maybe. And Grover talks about the evils of man. How humans ruin nature, and that's why the great god Pan went away. I remember the story in the book is that, at some point, thousands of years ago, a sailor was heard off the coast of Greece saying, "Tell them the great god Pan has died." Yeah, that's how it went. And then we meet a woman and seemingly a dog that she's carrying in her bag. It is very clear that she is actually a monster. Well, actually, before that, the police talk to the Percy and friends, hey, your cabin was blown apart. You want to explain why? Because police, I guess, 3 kids are capable of doing that. All right. The strange woman comes down to talk to them. She's like, you can't, and of course she's acting really creepy, and I'm that's what you should go to the police for. But no one hears them. I mean, they're talking kind of quietly, but there's other people around. 3 kids talking to a strange woman is cause. Okay, strange woman talking to 3 kids is definitely cause for concern in my eyes. They talk about oh, we fought monsters like you, and she's like, monsters like me? Well, they are my children. And the dog in her bag is getting really fussy. We never see it. It just goes as the bag's shaking. Oh, that's really cool. And then, like, Grover and Annabeth are like, oh shit, she's echidna. No, she is not. A spiked, four-legged, long-snouted monotreme related to the platypus that lives in, like, Australia and Tasmania. Nor is she a red, dreadlocks-wearing creature who guards the Master Emerald and flirts with Bat and you know, chuckles. No, she's well, we don't actually see like her actual form because her actual form is like this big snake monster thing. But Echidna is where a lot of monsters are spawned from. You know Cerberus, the three-headed dog that we'll probably see in a couple episodes? He's her son. The bag opens and like a big like spiked tail comes out and like stabs Percy. Well, kinda. Well, there's like a stinger, a tiny little stinger thingy that's like the size of a Q-tip, and like it apparently looked like it punctured his skin at all. And then they run away. Like they get out of the train and they like run off, and the monster like comes out of the bag. They gotta get it out. So Annabeth says that the Gateway Arch in St. Louis is a monument to Athena. Alright, that was definitely not in the book. I don't even know if that was on anyone's mind. Like, that is sort of the weird thing about this show's, well, the Percy Jackson verse in general's world building, where they sort of retcon things, say, oh yeah, if these people were actually like demigods, or oh, they were actually thinking of like these Greek characters and stuff. Alright, whatever. So they go inside, but Echidna follows them in, and they're like, wait, this is a sacred place, why is she coming in? And then Annabeth finds out that the reason is because, like, Athena was embarrassed after they sent Medusa's head to Olympus. Like, she was, like, insulted. Like, last time I talked about how, like, Poseidon was relatively okay with, like, sending Medusa's head to Olympus. Well, apparently Athena wasn't, because she lifted the protection on the arch and allowed Echidna and the other monster to enter the arch. They're all on the highest part, because of course they are. Now, they do successfully evacuate everyone else. Annabeth pulls the fire alarm, and so they all get out, which is definitely better on their part from the book, where there's just like a family and a security guard up there that they don't get roasted alive because of a Deus Ex Machina. You know, it's nice that they care enough about the civilians to keep them out of the fighting. Then Percy, who is starting to succumb to like the poison of this sting. They already put him in a fountain and tried to like splash him with water, but that wasn't working for some reason. Grover theorized it's because they need moving water. Alright, but Percy stays behind. He actually like locks the door, like so that Grover and Annabeth can't get back in to help him. And he faces Echidna. And we found out the monster she's with is the Chimera. Now the Chimera is an interesting one. I really liked this monster when I was a kid. But like looking back, this is such a slapdash design. Like it's like the front is a lion, the middle is a goat, and the tail is a snake. Sure. That is definitely something when you're trying to come up with a just so story. Here, like, the Chimera has, like, goat horns, which I've seen on a couple interpretations. But, like, it also has, like, you know, but the front is still like a lion. It has, like, a lioness head because the Chimera is a female. Which is interesting, like, the Chimera is usually described as a female in, like, the stories, but art depicts it with a mane, like a male lion. So, props for accuracy, but I think this design looks hideous. I really don't like how it looks. And also, like, going back to like the sting of the tail, that's supposed to be a snake head at the top. Here it's just like a scorpion, like stinger or something. That's a manticore. There are manticores in this universe. Like, one's one of the main villains of book 3. So why do that? And, like, the fight doesn't last long. Percy's poisoned and he gets his ass kicked. He somehow doesn't get roasted to death because the Chimera, I guess, can only breathe fire for like 2 seconds. But Echidna blows a hole in the arch, because I guess you could do that. No, it's like she does this, and there's just a hole in the arch now. It's just like, just gets there. And Percy like is knocked into the hole, and he falls down. And this is interesting because, like, so the Mississippi River is near the arch, but it's not underneath it. And in the book, like, people were, I remember people were talking about, wait a minute, if he fell from the arch, how the hell did he get to the Mississippi River when it's not, like, right there? Here, like, there's like a water spout coming out of the Mississippi that pulls him into, because otherwise you just fall down onto the hard ground and just, so he's in the murky water because the Mississippi River is really polluted, or at least really green. I don't know, I've never been there. He's like holding his breath because like he's never been this down. His foot is caught underneath a clump of mud. He thinks he's going to drown. Then like this like water sprite or something comes in. Wikipedia says it's a Nereid, which it is in the book, but I don't know, because I could barely see what it was. And she's like, your father protected you, so your father cares about you. And he's like, you have to breathe. And that's how Percy realizes he can breathe underwater. Smash cut to black. And that was the episode. Yeah, this episode is really short. Like, compared to the others. It's 33 minutes long. And the others were over 40 minutes. And it feels really short, too. Like, not a whole lot happens. It's just sort of, they're on the train, they're being chased by the Chimera, go to the arch, Percy falls down. Which is like, the Chimera stuff was really just sort of a stepping stone in the book for Percy realizing he can breathe underwater. That was kind of it. Like, the Chimera literally just vanished after it. I don't know, maybe it'll show up at the beginning of episode 5. The teaser for the next one, God buys us cheeseburgers. We get to see a little bit of Ares in his dumb Matrix jacket. And we get to see Percy and Annabeth on the Tunnel of Love, which, for those who haven't read the book, is exactly as cringy as you think it is, on purpose. And, yeah. There we go. Yeah. Again, this episode has the most deviations from the book so far. I think it's fine, though it did go by way faster than I thought. But you know, we'll see how the rest of the episodes go. We're halfway through now, and I am liking it generally. I gotta give like credit to like the woman who plays Echidna, Suzanne Cryer. I don't know that name. But like, she's very creepy. Like the way she's just like constantly has her face crinkled like this. Like she's just the perfect combination of like condescending and ice cream candy van man, for lack of a better word. And she definitely carried like a lot of those scenes. Yeah, I am interested to see how like the next episode's like adapts like Ares. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what the rest of that episode's gonna be, because episode 6 is we take a zebra to Vegas, and the zebra part happens like right after they leave Ares in the book. So who knows? Maybe they'll find more stuff to like fill out the runtime, or we'll get another shorter one, which you know is fine enough, I guess. Anyway, that's all for me then. See everybody. Next up's episode 5, where a god will buy them cheeseburgers. And also gives them double stuffed Oreos. I remember that from the book for some reason.